Hello everyone, and today we're going to be doing a Minecraft mod spotlight on the amazing Thaumcraft mod. It's a really long mod, and it may span over two parts, who knows, it depends on how much I'm willing to show you. We're going to start off, as you see, out in the wilderness, in the savannah, and we're just going to start off by creating some of the basics that you're going to be needing for this mod. And the first thing you're going to need for the Thaumcraft mod is a wand. It's like you need it at Hogwarts. You need a wand to do pretty much anything for the Thaumcraft mod. And to make a wand, you need simply one shard of any kind, one stick, and one gold nugget. So it's not difficult to come by. The shards pretty much you get underground, various different levels, and they are quite common. These are the shards. So we've got over here, we've got the lovely fire shards, we have the water shards, we have the earth shards, and then we have the vis shards. Now there's not real major difference with the shards except for when you hit shift and you highlight over them, and they have different auras about them. So they're different when it comes to crafting, but when it comes to the shards themselves, there's not really that much difference. As well as the shards, we have cinnabar ore in this mod. Cinnabar ore can be smelted to make quicksilver. It's just a quicker way of getting quicksilver instead of having to go searching for the mystical blue trees. And we also have amber. Amber at the moment I don't believe has any importance to the mod. I don't believe it's made for any specific recipe, but I believe he's kept it in for a reason. I think he's planning on doing something with it in the future, so keep an eye out for that. So they're pretty much all the shards that you get for this mod, and you put a stick, a gold nugget, and a shard, and you get Wand of the Apprentice. That is the starting off wand, and as you can see, it's starting already. It's just as time goes by, it collects vis. Now the Wand of the Apprentice can hold 50 vis, and it's the smallest of the three wands. There is also Wand of the Adept that holds 250 vis, which hopefully I will show you how to make later. And they're pretty much used for all of the major recipes. The Apprentice one will get you through pretty much all the stuff. It'll get you through most of the beginning items, but it won't get you through once you hit the Arcane work table. So we're going to start off by creating some of the basics, as well as the Wand of the Apprentice. You're going to need a Crucible. A Crucible is created using iron ingots. You're going to need a lava bucket or fire, so netherrack could also do. Anything that burns, you just need a heat source underneath the crucible, and you're going to also need a water bucket to actually fill it. So to make the crucible, you just make a simple cauldron. Nice and simple. You put an area with, I'm going to put lava, it could be fire, could be anything you want to heat it up. So you just have a little area with lava. I'm just going to throw my cinnabar ore there, so I can hit the cauldron against it. And then you simply right click with the wand, and it turns it into a crucible. And as you can see, the wand has gone down in vis, but it's slowly bringing it back up because it costs 25 vis to create the crucible. And to use the crucible, you just need to simply use a bucket of water. Where's the bucket? There you go. And throw it in the crucible and wait until it starts bubbling. Once it starts bubbling, it's able to be used. And using the crucible helps you make all of the items in Thaumcraft, as well as helping you research new items. And you're going to want to keep track of all your items. So another major thing, and probably actually the first thing that you needed, is the book. And it's a pretty important book. And all you need for that is a bookshelf, and you right click on the bookshelf, and there you go. The Thaumcraft. Oh, I have no idea. I'm just going to call it the Thaumcraft. That's how I say it. It's way too long. This holds everything. It has information on pretty much the entire mod. As you can see here, these are all of the recipes. It's not even all of them. You get hidden recipes that appear later on. So these aren't all the major ones. These are ones that you start off with. So you got like the night ore, you got the wall, which makes the Thaumcraft robes. There's just so much you can do with this mod. It's very magical. And another thing you're going to need to actually research it is a table. A table is created using 2 wood blocks and then 3 slabs. And you got a table. You're going to need 2 to create your research desk. So you got your research desk and you just put them next to each other. I'm not sure if you put them in that way, but it should be okay. And you need ink. You need ink and a feather. So you put them together and you got scribing tools. Whoops, made a lot of scribing tools. Let's just put them in there. Scribing tools, it's always good to have them spare. Yeah, that'll do. And you just right click on the table with your scribing tools and ta-da! You've got yourself a research desk. A research desk is going to be one of the most important things that you can use in Thaumcraft. It is pretty much the main thing you're going to use to find out all of these recipes. None of these can be made until you research them. And you research them by putting in something in the slot there, and you get these auras pretty much. These like virtues. I'm not entirely sure the exact name. And you pretty much right click, you change it to the cursory or thorough. Cursory, there's a high chance you won't use up the item on the left hand side, but you're not guaranteed it's a smaller chance of researching something. Thorough, you get a higher chance of using up the item, but it's a higher chance of researching something. And to finish it off, you needed paper at the bottom to actually create research notes. So we're going to quickly grab some paper. Oops, we're not going to create infinite paper. There we go. So we put some paper in the bottom, and we put pretty much anything you want there, and you just research it. And you got some research notes. And the more items you can combine together, I usually only stick to like 1 or 2, depending on how the research notes are going. You can see a maximum of 5 of the auras in there, but depending on how it goes, as you can see, you start researching something, and even sometimes in the research notes, depending on how far you are into completing it, it'll give you a basic idea of what you're researching. Over here you get a general guideline of what you're researching, what item it's able to be made for. So this one's studying the rudiments of alchemy, so this is basic transmutation, and that will open up quite a few of, it's probably, I believe it's one of these 2, and you need one of these 2 to open up the rest of the tree, as you can see. Now the last thing you're going to want to create, which you won't be needing scribing tools for, you're going to want to create another table. So you make another table, put that on its own, and you right click that with your wand, and you have the arcane work table. It's pretty much exactly like a normal workbench, except you can put your wand in there, so that helps you, and then you can create items that require a certain amount of viz. So this is used for creating certain Thaumcraft items, not for all, but for quite a few. So we're going to start off by quickly making it day. There we go. And then we are going to make a simple item that probably everyone who has been familiar with Thaumcraft 2 or 1, will know exactly what I'm going to make. And that one is going to be the night ore. Very lovely night ore item. And to make that, I believe you put in a lot of coal, you get some potentia as well, and I think the next one is also going to be redstone. No, it's not redstone, it's going to be glowstone then. There we go, glowstone. And once it hits 100% on each of these, so the lines become straight and there's a little wiggly thing around them, that means each of these auras are complete. And as you can see here, this has grayed out, which means it's not needed in the research. So say for example that's been grayed out because it's not needed. Them 2 are used in the research, so they continue to be used even if you have completed the actual percentage for them. So you get the discovery, and you get a lovely little piece of paper that gives an idea of what night ore is, as well as a brief description of what you need for it. So you need the lux virtue, you need the ignis and the potentia. There is a lot. It's going to be really difficult to even attempt to try and remember all of them. You're probably going to need to write them down. You right click it and your research is completed. And then you check out in your Thaumcraft. And that is exactly how much this is going to use and what you're going to need to throw into the Crucible to create Night Ore. So we need 4 Ignis, 6 Lux, and 4 Potentia. So let's see exactly how we're going to get that. Now, redstone only has 2 Potentia. Coal has 2 Ignis and 2 Potentia, so we could use 3 of them. So, 3 coal. And this one has 3 of the Lux, and we need 6 of them, I believe. That's the basic transmutation. No idea why I've still got them. So we need, 6 Lux. So that'll be 2 of these, and we just throw them in. And that's pretty much all the items you're going to need. Now another thing I want to show you is the goggles are revealing. You don't get them straight away, so I didn't want to show you them straight away. You've got to get past the basic transmusions and the first tier before you actually unlock the ability to create them. And they're not the easiest thing to create. So you simply place them on, and as you can see, a new thing has appeared in the left hand corner. And the A stands for the aura in the area, and the F is the flux. At the moment the flux is minimal because we haven't been doing a lot of magic. And over there, as you can see, that's an aura node, so that brings in the aura from the area. And the more aura you use, the smaller it gets. And as you can see, the little lightning bolts coming from it, that's the flux. So that's how unstable it has become. The more flux you get, the more wisps you get, which can get kind of aggressive. It's not the end of the world. You don't want high flux, but having a small amount isn't deadly, pretty much. And also with the goggles revealing, which is a very nice little bonus, is if you hover over a Crucible, you see exactly what auras that you have put into them. So as you can see, I've got the 6 Ignis, the 6 Potentia, and the 6 Lux. I also have 2 and 3 of 2 other auras that I'm not going to be needing, so they get completely wasted in this research. They get thrown out and they get created into flux, which is why you try to be as pretty much as clean, as eco-friendly as possible. But sometimes you just can't. Sometimes you're going to have wasted materials. You just right click it with your apprentice wand and you've got Night Ore. Night Ore is a lovely little thing. I love using it as a little light. It's so pretty. It's like a standstill wisp. That's just one of the amazing items that you can make on Thaumcraft, and in a moment I will show you exactly some of the items that I have made. I've been playing around with this mod for a few days. I haven't fully finished it because it's such an amazingly big mod, but I will show you exactly how much I have done with it. So we're going to quickly zoom past into my little lair. See you in a moment. And here we are in front of my lovely Thaumcraft little home. As you can see, some of the blocks are made out of Thaumcraft materials. They are solid blocks, and I will show you how to make them, hopefully. I believe I still have the recipe. So this is my little home away from home. I have my lovely golem that is also made using Thaumcraft. He calls me master and everything. Now, I haven't got all of the materials. I haven't been able to open up every single research recipe, but I've opened up a decent amount. As you can see, some of them only appear once you start getting the basics, and then you just get these by happenstance. So, for example, a magic tallow, you get that by throwing in corpus, which can be pretty much any sort of rotten flesh, brains, and that helps you create magic tallow, which helps you create these lovely little candles. Aren't they pretty? Yes, I believe they're very pretty. You can make them any different colour. I've made purple because I love purple. So you pretty much just have 2 magic tallows, a piece of string, and you get a tallow candle. It's exactly the same as any other candle. You put it in an arcane workbench with any dye of your colour. So you put it in one of these and you've got yourself a coloured candle that really lights up the mood, along with your night or lights. So as you can see here, I've got myself a really, really big table. The really, really big table you get using these magical building blocks. You gotta put 4 next to each other and you get yourself an infusion altar. Now the infusion altar is used for pretty much most of the late game, at least the later on game. I don't know if there's anything even more later on after what I've gotten through. But that's pretty much used for the late game items, including creating the latest wand. So I have the recipe to create the latest wand. So to create the latest wand, you need an infusion altar, which I have. You need one of each type of major shards, so you need a fire, an air, earth, water, by the powers combined, blah blah blah. I need a wand of the apprentice, but you also need a wand of the apprentice to actually make it. So you are going to have to make a second wand of the apprentice, which is not the end of the world. Having extra wands is never a bad thing. So these are all pretty much my messy chests. See if I can find myself a gold nugget. Out the way, little golem. There we go, gold nugget. So we're going to make ourselves a second wand that we're going to use for our recipe for our wand of the adept. So we put a wand of the adept in there, and we put one of each shard. So we need earth, fire, air and water. And I believe we need it in a specific order, so you can always double check. Air, fire, earth, water. Air, fire, earth and water. Now, something as you can see here is slowly glowing is another aura that you need, and you're thinking, okay, how am I going to get an aura to there? There is nothing I can throw items in to create them. But what you actually need to do is throw them into a nearby crucible and it carries over. So you need 16 Precancia, which is the magic and sorcery aura. And the best way of getting them, I believe, is Vis shards, because they give 6 each. So to create 16, you only need 3. And you get 4 left over plus some of the blue. I can't remember them off the top of my head, I'm really sorry. So you throw them in. You put your wand of the adept in there. And as you can see, it's starting to pull in the virtue from the crucible, and it's no longer faintly glowing, and it's full solid, which means you can create your wand. And here we go, my wand of the adept, and that can hold 250 viz, so it holds 200 more than this and is a lot more powerful than the original apprentice wand, which helping me make a lot more items. The fun of this mod is pretty much that you can create whatever you want. You throw in loads of junk. So say I throw in, what do I want to throw in? Let's throw in some nether brick. Find out what it's got in it. It's got some ignis and solemn. It's not got anything major. I don't know if I'm going to create any recipes from it. Oh, and I'm using some of the solemn, and you're going to end up using a lot of it by the looks of it. Seems like a major, but I get the shovel of the earth mover from that, and it is just a case of combining different ones that you think actually go to it. So I mean, they do generally make sense in a certain way. So for example, most tools will require the tool virtue, which I'm not sure I have on me anymore, because they do require, see, there's the tool. So we're gonna, oh, why not, let's just throw them in. I believe they're going to be useful. The instrumentum, oh, we don't know, still don't know. Let's put in some pickaxes. Let's just spawn a load of pickaxes. Yeah, 8. Yeah, there we go, the instrument. Ooh, and we're creating 2 others. We don't know what they are yet, but there is a chance that they will show themselves before you actually need to put in the item, so you know exactly what item you need to go for. And it depends on your luck, pretty much. I usually don't get that much luck. So let's see if we can get the instrumental out of its way. Yep, and we've got 2 other items. We don't know exactly what they're going to need. So it's an earth smoother. It may need an earth item. So let's say something like saplings or leaves. So let's just throw in some wood. Maybe wood will do. It's not lignum. Once it's faded, you know that it's useless. And that's pretty much what you do to make anything in the research table. You combine and you try and remember, and you write down a lot of stuff trying to remember. It's a very written down mod. Another thing that you can make, and this is what my little golem is useful for, is you can make different kinds of golems. And the golems do different kinds of things. So I've made a stone golem right now. You can also make a clay golem, I believe, a straw golem, and the simple wood golem. And depending on what golem you create, it also depends on what actual job they do. So I believe a stone golem is used for moving items around from chests. They have a nice little brief, here we go, like wooden golems, stone golems are intelligent enough to move and place items into the side of the inventory that they're assigned to. You need these little green markers and put them behind a chest, and the golem will move items from chest to chest. So they're very organised little creatures. You've got the straw golem, I believe, is more for out on the outside work, so they will harvest crops for you and plant crops. And I do think there is also an iron golem that you can't see, but it is possible to make, that will guard for you. As well as the actual golems themselves, you need to make the animation cores. So you got the basic animations, and they're used for creating whatever golem you want. And each animation core, there's about 4 different ones you can make. I have 2 that I can make, so I got the intelligence and the perception. So they've got different little things about them. So example, the perception, you traverse larger distances to perform a task, so he can go further than normal. And the intelligence, able to perform more than one task at a time. So it's all about preference, really. I believe this little one is the intelligence one, and I've set him up to purple. You can choose his colour, but I do love the colour purple. So he's just wandering. He's still you got to place him on a chest for stone golems and wood golems for them to work, and they'll take items from that chest. As you can see, he stole one of my pickaxes, and I cannot get it back. The little bugger. But he looks so cute with it, I couldn't say no. So that is pretty much the basics of Thaumcraft. I mean, there is also the Arcane Table. The Arcane Infuser, my apologies. I call it table. That's used for creating magical build blocks, which is an easy enough, it's in the tier 1, it's an easy enough item to research. And you just need stone and thorn ingots, which again, easy enough to research, metal and magic. And the thornium ingots is pretty much used to make everything when it comes to armour and weapons. You can use it exactly the same as diamond, but I believe it's not as strong as diamond, but it's stronger than iron. The magical building blocks, put in a 4-row, right click it with the wand, and you get this infuser. And that is pretty much the basics of what you can make with Thaumcraft. And you're going to have a lot of fun finding out all the recipes, and I hope you enjoy it. I think next episode, if I do a part 2, I may actually show off each recipe and how to make it. That's only if pretty much I have the time and I have the actual recipes on hand to do, because there's a lot of them. But I hope you enjoyed this one. Bye bye for now.